I recently built a 3000 block long train track, but let's be honest, 3000 blocks of nothing but track gets a little boring. So today I'm starting to build a village along the rails to bring some life, interest, and a few farms to the journey. Welcome back to Just Create. Before we get started, consider subscribing and leaving a like. It helps me out a ton and keeps you up to date with all my new videos. To get started with this project, the place where I want to build this village is currently covered in trees, and I also want to sort out the terrain, so I think it's time to get a beacon. For this though, I'm going to need to craft up a bow. I don't think I have an infinity villager though, so let's try and roll one through enchants. Finally, there we have infinity. Now let's just head up to the castle and get back up to level 30. Back down at the enchantment table, let's get that infinity enchant, and then from our villagers, applying power 5 and unbreaking 3. One more quick stop before we head into the nether to just buy another stack of food from Chosen's shop. Now to just kill wither skellies until we get our 3 skulls. Hopefully this won't take too long. Didn't take too long, but it definitely took a little bit. But I've got the 3 skulls now and heading into the end, as I've actually already got a beacon for another project, so cheesing this one in the end portal frame, and the smite 5 sword makes it even easier. Back at the workshop, let's grab our obsidian and glass plus the iron blocks we'll need, crafting up our beacon. And then Chosen absolutely schooled us a couple of weeks ago saying how you can make beacon contraptions, so at the newly flattened shopping area, let's get a beacon built up, then just gluing this together and we can pick it up with a wrench. Quick stop at our main base project to just steal a few shulkers. Don't worry, I will be showing all this soon enough, but for now, let's get our beacon placed down over at the village location. With the beacon in place, let's start clearing away all of the trees so that we can see the terrain beneath. Didn't really need the beacon for this as I used the mechanical saw, but I will need it soon enough. Before that, however, let's get a few terrain materials put together. Grabbing some mud and coarse dirt, going to need a fair bit of deep slate as well. Then over at Chosen's factory, we can yoink a bit of sand to use for some beaches. And after Chosen's factory, I'm off to a mangrove swamp since I think I'll need even more mud. Oh wait, actually, no, let's head back. Grabbing a bit of dirt from our storage and getting that processed up in the water mixer at the workshop. And while that processes, we can head back into the nether as I also need a couple of stacks of basalt. Now with a few more materials available, let's start preparing the terrain, creating some mud edges to what will now become a lake along with 2 beaches before starting to widen the river over by the train tracks, and then clearing out the massive land chunk which I want to turn into a lake for the village to fish on. Looking pretty good now that we've got all of these trees cleared away and the terrain sorted out. I actually think this is a great start for the village. And limiting myself a little bit here with bringing in a lake. Of course, we have to make this a little deeper in the future. And something we're going to do here very shortly is fix up this little cliffside I want, running over to pretty much the terrain bridge, which we got to bring in. So much to do. But I definitely think this is a great start. And the blocks we gathered up earlier, the deep slate and the basalt, which is in here somewhere, is what I'm thinking to use for this cliff. Gonna make a couple of deep slate stairs and slabs, as well as a few tile blocks. Taking these blocks and running along the river's edge, adding in a jagged little cliff, using our deep slate tiles as some darker tones, and I did also bring out a bit of tuff to use for a couple of highlights, texturing the deep slate with a bit of basalt. This creates a really nice natural retaining wall for the side of the village, where I'm thinking over by the overpass here across the river is where we're gonna have our train station. Somewhere along this area here is where you're gonna be able to get on and off, and I think I'm gonna run a platform on the other side as well. And what could actually be really cool to do is maybe having a little path that goes down underneath the bridge in order to get over here. That would be really cool. I've got a few industrialization ideas to do over in this area, but that's something I'm gonna leave for a future episode, as I definitely want to focus on this side and actually will want to bring in some farms here, because there's a few blocks that I find pretty annoying to gather and that I want. And dog. Well, I don't think I have any. I don't have any bones. Hold up. The village actually isn't too far away from spawn, so it wasn't too far of a flight over. But let's see. Bones. Let's see. This is actually the first time I think I'm taming a wolf that isn't the regular default. Oh my god, he's so cute with fresh animations. You wanna be my friend? Oh, he's so cute. Come on, buddy. Oh, look at him. Wait, his little cuteness aggression all over you. Right, we're definitely going to need a name for this little guy here behind me, so let me know down in the comments. And while you're at it, this village is going to need a name. Down. Right, I need to just walk away from him so I can... this entire village is going to need a name. So if you have a suggestion for the doggo's name... Oh my god, he's so cute. And as well, one for the village. Let me know down below. Love to hear your ideas. Oh my god. And as much as the terrain is starting to take shape, I think we need to actually start getting some buildings in and fix up that bridge. I mainly want to work on a storage warehouse as I need a place to store my shulker boxes when I'm working in the area, and we also need a place to store the eventual farms I'm going to be making. Well, we need quite a few resources. So I think the first thing I'm going to grab is... well, oh, these aren't even filled with stuff. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is empty these shulker boxes out. Right, bunch of empty shulker boxes now, and I actually haven't checked the system, but I'd imagine if we have quite a few rocks, we should have way more tough than that. Oh no, no, don't tell me. Oh, I knew this was gonna happen. Oh, thunder. Yeah, oh, that's bad. Right, I think it may be time to just fix the system then. And that should solve our package issue. Yep, looks like it at least. I'm gonna just throw these back on here. Anything that can should now enter this vault here. I'm hoping, right? Like if it could enter, it would enter, right? I actually don't see that one going. Maybe this one's got enough to think about already. We can also add in, it actually won't matter because I don't think it's actually missing any, but we have two outputs now, and well, this little belt here fixes it. This is a much better way to do the system. Have one area with frog ports. You can have multiple frog ports still, and then just run them across belts into the vaults. That way you don't run into the issue me and Beardy had. I'm pretty sure Beardy's already gone and fixed it, and mine is still half broken, but that should last me until we move to our main base, hopefully. But now we should have way more... Okay, well, not way more tough, but we have more tough. So why don't we start this material gathering off now officially with breaking all of our different stone bits down in the stone cutter. I think these three shulker boxes here should do it. And I also got a small little start on some other components, but these three boxes are at least done. We'll probably just leave that one out as it has a little bit of extra space. And maybe I should just do it. Right, we're building a bridge. I need to head back into the nether. And I was just trying to get down somewhere, but oh, not Josen's been here. Yep, this must have been the one he was looting. Doubt I'm gonna find any netherite in here. Instead, we'll just head down over here instead, down to level 15. Do really need to make myself a netherite drill. A drill in general, to be fair, but I'm waiting to make an actual proper like garage and stuff for that, so that's gonna be exciting. First piece. Before we head back to the base, actually, let's just fly out to the coral reef. And I'm not actually here for any coral, as I just need a bit more terracotta. Set to fly in the overworld back, and, well, we can get the engine debris smelted down, first of all. And we're gonna need some cyan dye, as well as some light blue. Crafting up the light blue dye, then we're gonna need, let's see, I'm gonna craft 2 stacks of cyan terracotta, a bit over, yeah, 2.5 stacks of that. And our scrap is melted up. We need a few pieces of gold, craft up some chiseled stone bricks, and then 2 netherite ingots, 2 lodestones. Perfect. Now for clearing out the trees along the train track, I actually have a lot of wood just laying around, so let's see what I can craft this into. Perfect. Just missing a bit of dark oak, and I actually think I have everything ready out where I shot my trees, so I'm just gonna fly on over there. Putting that in. I do think 1 tree is enough, but I think I'll go ahead and harvest just another one just in case. Can't hurt for later at least. Right, let's see. Oh, a lot of mud, but I think, yeah, we have a bunch of dirt left over, so let's turn about 1,000 of this into mud. Just put this in here, and while we'll finish up the rest of the material gathering, that's going to be processing up. Just plugging in the last shulker box here, and we got 10 pretty much filled to the brim with resources except this one. And all we're missing right now is 1 small little block. I need some small drip leaves. And actually one more thing, because these are my last rockets, so I've just requested a little bit of sugarcane here. That can get pressed up, and we can fly up and grab a stack of gunpowder at the castle. Yoink. Oh, ow. Ouch. And also realized that these 9 steaks are my last, so grabbing another diamond. Really have to put diamonds into my ender chest so that I don't have to think actively and just can fly out the door and just like, oh right, I need food, because I will forget the diamonds. Here we go. Now off to the forest. With our resources moved on over here, let's get started with the first building. And since everything is kind of going to be revolving around the warehouse, I think that's a good start. And I actually want to tear away a bit of my terraforming that I've already done, and I'll actually fix up this bit. We'll get the texturing later, but this mohawk here, I can definitely trim that down. With a few blocks cleared away, let's start the warehouse foundation and walls. Foundation I'm using mainly tough, and then a stony texture for the walls themselves. Using deep slate and tough for some darker bits, and then a gravel to transition back towards stone. Which I think looks pretty good, especially these blast furnace above the doors. I actually really quite like that. But I want to get a little second story on this part of the building before we get some storage stuff sorted on the inside. And for that, I actually want to use our light blue and cyan terracotta, along with some of the clay I grabbed. I do really need to craft up some scaffolding again. I've been using dirt and stuff for a while now, but I want to give this a little color, and for that, well, first bring in a little highlight here on the corner. But with the color we're going to be bringing in is of course the light blue, which I want to use as the majority block in our walls. This is one of those blocks that are really hard to work with, but it's such a nice color that sometimes it's just worth the extra little bit of effort. Perfect. We'll just hop down in here, add in some cobblestone walls for a little bit of an opening. I think we could maybe extend out like a rope pulley from this, and you could bring up some crates to, well, what could be a second floor. Although I don't think I'm going to add in a floor up there. I have another idea on the inside here. But I definitely like that color, so let's get my... Oh, ouch. What I was saying is get myself back up here so that we can continue these walls. Just added in some copper grates up here as some windows as well. And it is a little cheese gratery now, but I'm thinking a catwalk out this way to another building on this side where we can load and unload trains. I think that's going to be a really cool way to do this. I'm scared of setting up the train signals for this, but that's a future stand problem. For now, let's continue building this workshop before tackling the inside. I want to add on a simple deep slate roof, using a mix of tiles, bricks, and cobbled, with a few roof windows letting the building breathe a bit. And it also adds a nice little bit of detail to the side. The building so far is very flat from this angle, but I'm thinking we can extend some things from either the doors, even maybe both the doors, and some things sticking out up here. But for now, let's focus on the inside, where I actually want to grab a bunch of our create components. Also need just a few other things. All right, this should be good for now, where we are going to be producing a bunch of different things in here. And I might even have to add like a basement to this eventually if I start producing far too many things, or a little extension building. But today we're going to be automating 5 different things, or well, I plan to automate 5 things, so building up 5 vaults. Don't think I'll get the time for all of them, but making space for moss, grass, and ferns. A little random because I think this will add a nice little detailing factor. Then this corner over here I want to actually use for my shulker box storage when I'm here working in the area. So let's split this space up a little, and I'm thinking we can just bring in a vault right here to store bone meal. Actually, let's get this moved over 1 block. And stacking another vault on top of this for the rest of our moss farms output. Because of course we're going to have seeds, carpets, azalea, bushes, and well, not actually bushes, they're azalea saplings. What are they actually called? Oh, they're literally just called azalea. Okay, let's get a few supporting girders in here as well. I actually really kind of like the vibe of this with our girders and stuff going around. I also did bring a few placards with me, which I'm thinking we can just place on the fronts of these vaults here. And I should also have all of the things that I need to put in them. This is going to be bone meal. This is going to be azalea stuff. Moss here, ferns up here, and grass down there. And then I also have a bunch of belts, shafts, and just andesite casing, packagers. You get a little storage system running for this. And I'm thinking a little stock ticker in this corner over here, as this is where I'm going to have the storage, of course, so this makes sense where I'm going to grab it from. We'll start that off with that one there, link these to that. They should stay linked. Then we'll bring in a barrel here with a packager going into that. Stacking up from this, we'll go 3 chutes. Belt that starts over here, and oh nope, did not make that at all. Right, we can use this little ladder. This runs all the way over this way now, where we can run one over out here. And we're gonna have to get a little creative with how we hook all of this up for sure. As if we get that in and this then. Let's see. That should allow us to connect all of those 3 vaults. Now it's just this one down here left. All right, we can maybe get a belt going this direction that will then lead up, because I need all of them to travel across here, since I want to run it out of the catwalk so that we can eventually load it to trains. So I just need to do something like that, and then we can bring in a tunnel right here, and then we'll put some package filters on this so that when we request items, they will go right there, and then we can also export items via the train system. I think I've got all of the connecting bits now. All of this should spin. I'm hoping this all spins the right way as well. Otherwise, we'll sort that out in the future. For now, let's bring out our packagers and stock links, and this is where we're gonna have to get a little creative. This one's gonna be simple. It's just a packager there with an output funnel. Then we'll do a stock link on top of that. Ooh, you can probably see that from the tracks. That's gonna be a nice little detail. Then this one's gonna be a little hard, but I think what we can do is have an input here, the packager here, output there, and the packager will get flung out, and the packages kind of get like pushed a bit, so that will be pushed into this funnel onto the belt. And then here we can just do a simple output. This one will do the same way as over there. Output there, input here, stock link, and then a stock link on top of that. And I don't have enough funnels. Not even close to enough funnels. Right, I'll be back for that later. I did actually also move the fern sign, so maybe let's just put that there instead. And yep, this is still open, looking pretty cool. We can definitely start just like encasing a few of these bits, definitely switching that andesite out there, maybe just getting a few extra girders in, just detailing the space really. With that sort of done, let's move on to my little manual storage area. We can definitely take out that torch and start extending in a middle shelf here. I want to keep this pretty open, but I also definitely want to have some detail blocks in here for when you visit and I'm actually not using this. And I guess the chokers wouldn't be too pretty if I was always using this, to be fair, because it's gonna be messy in here. But we will just build up a couple of shelves at least to have a little bit of permanent storage, and then we can fill the rest with chokers. Few more details here on the inside with a few cardboards and a little door here on the side that you can look at the trains while they're loading. And I also made this side over here a little less flat by adding in a little rope pulley there on top and one of these signs, which I definitely stole the design from Beardy. It's looking pretty cool. Not sure what to put in these signs, maybe like warehouse or something like that, but I'll figure that out. In the meantime, let's complete this structure, first building up the building on the opposite side of the train tracks. I'm leaving this one purposefully lacking details as I have some future plans on this side of the tracks, and I might be changing the structure when I get around to those, so saving myself a bit of time. With that done, we can connect the 2 structures with a catwalk above the tracks, using some polished blocks and spruce for the floor and walls, then completing the structure with another deep state roof. Now, I'm really just hoping that this is enough space for the trains to clear it. That should be, like, it feels enough, but then again, maybe not. We'll see, though. My shulker box is still out here, and I'm probably just gonna move it closer to my build, so I will probably use this space. Maybe. But for now, let's get this second building built up, and go on here, buddy. I still need a name for this guy, but he will, of course, be our little storage clerk over here. And, oh, I need a seat for him. A nice little white seat for him to sit on down. And he's now stock ticker. There's actually nothing in there just yet. And I need to set up the filters and all of that stuff. But that's... I'll do this later. Building. Yay. So let's get our station building built. I decided to pretty much make an identical building to my starter base with a few small alterations. Mainly, I've redone the entire interior to fit the station purpose. Also, switching out the roof as I wasn't 100% happy with the mangrove granite mix I've used back at Spawn. Then the final little change is the roof above the platform being raised and, well, not covered in holes. And it's definitely looking pretty good. And, well, the platform is really short. I do want to bring in the platform on the other side as well, but to do that, we have to actually sort out this bridge, as I think the way you're going to travel between the platforms is a little staircase down here that brings you down to the water side, and then you can kind of travel underneath and up on the other side. And I actually already have the materials ready for this bridge, so let's get cracking on that. So let's start with the bridge itself. Grab some chisel tuff, a bunch of tuff, polished slabs. Let's use some temporary blocks where I can go grab a little bit of dirt, because I want to actually trick the game. Grabbing a few tough brick walls. Let's get this started. First of all, let's get these train tracks replaced with the correct material on the bottom, and just running it across. Perfect. We'll do the same thing to this opposite side here. Starting us off over here in the corner, we're gonna start using our chisel tough bricks, running this across. And bringing out our temporary blocks here mainly. What we are going to do now is place these every other, then with some walls. And these blocks will actually soon be very much removed, as I want to do a little trick with the schematic cannon to get a block that I could technically only sort of get in, well, create it. And that is this type of tough wall. And unfortunately, walls don't connect to slabs like this, but I'd like to have a little opening. So I'm going to use the schematic cannon to trick the game into allowing the walls to be placed like this. So we just got to replicate this on the other side here real quick. And I was about to start up the schematic cannon thing now, but I do actually need to place every single block that's going to be surrounding this, because if we do update them, then we're going to have to do the entire schematic thing all over again. So we need a few trapdoors on top of this as well. Then what I've done is I've created schematic of the blocks that I want to replace these grass bits here with. And we're just going to move this into place. Placing down our schematic cannon and a little chest. We put the schematic in there. Need to go get a gunpowder. I realized I didn't do that. And we're going to need our lodestone and our polished tough slabs in there. Make sure that this is replaced solid with any. And yep, just need to get gunpowder. Right, let's see if this works. It really should. And it does. That's perfect. And now that we have this nice little trick in here, let's actually work on getting between the two platforms. And I want to use a bunch of mud for this, along with some mossy stone brick and granite. It was already in this chest. Starting us off up here and doing upside down stairs right away. This... Okay, Stem, you don't know how to play stairs. My goodness. We'll work our way down towards the water's edge. Then so that we can have it dark down here without having to worry about mobs, let's actually use some half slabs to just spawn proof it. Then as we get there to the other side, we'll just start running ourselves up. Grab some tough walls here so that we can make that classic platformer I've been using. This might be a little too close to the train tracks, but this is sort of a testing area for the platforms and stuff I'm going to be building on my main base. So we'll just run the tough walls along right here, and just like most things on this side, it's going to be a little unfinished, as like I've said a few times, still don't 100% know what I want to do on this side. I know I want space for a few factories and such, but not exactly which ones yet, and well, I'm not going to be working on them today. But I really like this, where you come down, run underneath the bridge, and then back up over on this side. It's just a little rough at the moment, and we need to obviously finish the supports of the bridge, because this is not a very supported bridge just yet. And so for the supports, I actually want to use a lot of polished tuff to outline it, and I also want to use some of the create polished tuff to just mix it up a little bit, because it is probably going to get a little too close and not look a little samey if we don't switch it up. So what we'll do, we'll go underneath this guy, just bring in 3 of these above the water line here. Then we'll go off. Oh, okay, right. Just a little bit of scaffolding, and we'll start bringing ourselves in for an arch using some tough slabs, then even a copycat panel, back to the slabs, full block, and then into the ground over here. I reckon we'll do the same exact thing again, but this time with a polished cut tuff instead. This arch being just a little bit taller to...
Incoming!
Oh! Hi, Brady. Hi.
You requested my attendance.
I did. That was a few days ago, actually. I've been out here
over the weekend.
in the
Leave
woods.
me alone.
I've been out. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Let's get out of the water.
Look at all this.
Yeah, I'm doing a little village out here.
Jeez, you've done loads of stuff.
Just a little warehouse so far, and a station building, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, this is like reminiscent of your one at spawn.
Yeah, but this one's actually a functioning train station, not just decorative. It actually has a little interior as well, with a little, you can wait for the trains, get your tickets over here eventually.
Oh, that's cool. I like this. Very cute. Don't use that word often.
Oh, no. That's good. We like it. And then I got a little warehouse over here as well. That even has train loading capabilities.
Oh.
So this is my little storage side. And then I've got a few farms I want to build over on this side.
Wow,
nothing
you have been busy.
Hooked up yet. But if we do head up here, which is actually, well, part of the reason I wanted you to come out here, is this little system where you can load trains, especially this one on the side, which doesn't have an input just yet, because we were discussing, starting up a little firework factory and all that jazz.
And
we do have a lot of space out here.
Right. Okay. So you're thinking... I mean, I also need somewhere to build a sugarcane farm because
Exactly.
XD's dug a big hole under my base, so I can't do it there anymore. So, yeah, maybe I could build the sugarcane farm out here, and then we could... Could we maybe even make the fireworks out here, do you reckon?
I think we ship the gunpowder out here, make the sugar cane, make them out here, and then we ship them back to spawn.
Oh, that sounds cool.
And then we can do
cool.
trains.
Also, I've been thinking about the whole firework thing, and you've put a lot more work into this than I have, and I feel kind of bad doing 50-50. I don't think we should do that. So, I've got an idea.
Okay.
Right? So, you know, YouTubers, they do that like build swap thing, right? Where like one person does the exterior and someone else does the interior. How about I build some shops at spawn? There's a couple of shops that we want to do, right? The fireworks and the stationery, which is like just the cardboard and paper, because we're going to be making that stuff anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I also need a power shop.
Yep.
So I'm thinking if I build 3 like little shop buildings over at the spawn in the shopping district.
Yeah.
And you've already done some building over here, but I take over one of these buildings and do the interior, right?
Okay.
And then you do the interior of those 3 shops. When it comes to the firework profits, how about I'll do the farm and the factory side of things, but how about I just get free fireworks for life and you do the fireworks and the profit, because you've done a lot more work on this than I have, and I feel kind of bad doing 50-50.
Yeah, I'll shake on that.
Yeah, so we'll do a little build swap. So you do the interior of the power shop, the paper shop, and the gunpowder shop, and I'll do the interior of the factory and the farm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome. Cool. And then I just get free fireworks for life.
Free fireworks for life.
This sounds awesome. Quick question. What are you doing for power over here?
Maybe I did also want to talk about that.
Yes! I knew it. I knew I'd get you eventually, Sam. Would you like me to route power out here for you?
I would, yeah. I'm going to be building a few farms and that. So, you know.
There's a couple of rules to be established with power.
Okay.
Which we've discovered. So if you connect stuff to the mains, don't add additional power sources. Because if they're not loaded,
it breaks
they'll break
everything.
The whole system.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't attach any more power systems to it. And what I'll do is I'm going to bring it over here with chain drives.
Yeah.
Which I don't expect to work. It's probably going to break, but I must test it again now that we've fixed all the other problems we had. If that works, then awesome. If it doesn't, then I'm going to have to run like a deep underground shaft all the way over here. But I'm hoping that the chain
drives should work.
They should work.
They shouldn't be any issue.
The first time as well.
Yeah.
But we've since worked out the other issues, and I believe I have more faith in them now. I think they might transfer the power.
They should. They should.
So I'm going to try that, and I'll get power over here for the area. The question then is, where would you like it? Like, it's basically like a sort of a 3x9 container.
Shipping container. I mean, honestly, actually, what we could do, we could maybe put it in the side of this building over here.
Okay, so what I could do is put it in here.
Yep.
Yeah, that would work.
I mean, just punch out one of the walls here, so I have the interface here on the outside. That would be great.
Yep. That's perfect. I can do that. And then you're going to build me a lovely building that I can do the fireworks factory and a sugarcane farm. So I'm going to need a reasonable amount of space.
Reasonable. I'll build your factory building. You should.
Cool.
I think you got this.
And I'll build you some shops.
Yep. Right.
Awesome. Well, pleasure doing business with you, Stam.
Indeed. And I'll see you around. Well, actually, I'm pretty lonely out here, so have fun back at spawn. Yep. Yep. With our arches completed, let's flesh out the rest of the bridge's sidewalls using mainly tuff with some chisel copper to add in a bit more of the blue-greenish tone. Then I'm starting to make the river a lot deeper and bringing mud in to make it look even deeper than that. This is of course so that we can continue bringing down the supporters into the water and also allows boats to pass under the bridge. Which is looking super good. Continued it out here a little bit and also got in a little vegetation here, which I love. I only really had enough to do this little section, but just imagine this along the entire river, along the entire lake. It would look really cool. Kind of want to do it. A small drip leaf. I'm probably going to use way more sparingly, but I figured throw in 3 here. They're so hard to find. I've never actually realized how hard they are to find, but I just tried to go and grab these 3. And my goodness, it took me like 5-10 minutes just to get 3 of them. So yeah, definitely gonna be stocking those up as soon as a wandering trader comes by with them. But the bridge is looking great. Added in some underwater lights, and we can now step on under to and then arrive over on this platform side and eventually actually visit this side of the village, but no, not today. But all this digging has taken a toll on my tools, so returning back over to spawn, let's fly right up here to the castle and spend a bit of time repairing our tools. much better. And there's one more thing I want to do because I actually want to work on the lake bed now because I'm feeling really inspired by doing that little riverbed and I'd love to do some more. But the problem is I need air, and I need air constantly. And what I do have, I have one back tank here. I'm pretty sure I have a second one in here. Also got a diving helmet and some diving boots. And it actually wouldn't hurt to enchant all of these to the max, as we can upgrade them in the future to the netherite ones, and they should keep all of our enchantments. Been sorting out my shulkers here a little bit, and I've got a few emeralds laying around. And so let's see. Oh, it actually worked surprisingly well. Let's see what enchantments we can buy here. We're definitely gonna need Depth Stride. Actually, will Depth Strider even matter? You put Depth Strider on these? You can. I wonder if that matters. I mean, I'm gonna put it on there because I have it. Right, there's not many useful enchantments. I mean, protection would be useful. Well, let's maybe try to enchant first and then see what we'll need, which means we need levels. But we should actually probably roll some trades first because I think capacity 3 is what I'm gonna struggle most with. And while both of these are capacity 2 or 1. Capacity 2 there, but that's not what we are looking for. Maybe you can't even get capacity 3 on just a regular enchantment table. We'll just fill up on a bit of flint here because I don't think the emeralds I have will actually be enough to enchant all of these 4 pieces. We'll just trade here with Chose's villagers, which I learned pretty fast that anybody can use. We don't even need an IOU. He was just mainly, well, yeah, Jojo shouldn't have given him that IOU. Let's see, I have sheep unbreaking books. Don't need looting. Don't need silk touch. I think I need 1 aqua affinity. I need 1 respiration. That's so expensive. And then I need 2 4 capacity 2 books. And that's all that Chosen has. We do actually still have 1 more villager here that we can fill with something, but we'll get 1, 2, 3, and 4, in fact. Unbreaking books. Do I have feather falling? I don't think I do, unfortunately. We'll get 2, and I'm out of emeralds. Right, let's go do more trading. 1,000 years later. Okay, did a bit more trading, and I think we have everything we need except feather falling for the diamond boots, which I think will be useful just in case. So we should probably try to get that. If we remove, let's see, 1, oh, that's a plank. 2, 3, and 4 of these, we should get level 22, and oh, feather falling right away. Cool. Right, that wasn't very hard. Now just to apply a bunch of books together. There we go. This is looking a whole lot better, and actually I'm not sure how long we can stay underwater with these, but I do look pretty cool. I wish there was some sort of like copper pants as well, because it does look a little funny. We can be underwater for 30 minutes, so an hour with both of them. That's amazing. And then I'm guessing with the netherite one, you can stay underwater for even longer, or is that just to be in lava? I'm not sure, but this is amazing. I never put Depth Striders on it. I do feel like I'm slower than above ground, so I should probably do that as well. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. This is definitely much better. Before we start terraforming the lake though, I want even more of the small drip leaves, so running around a few more lush caves where I managed to at least stock up on a couple more. Then back to the village, starting to dig out the lake. I like most of my projects, and I just underestimated the size of it. The diving gear we got was a massive help though, allowing me to construct the lake bed out of the dirt and make the entire thing a lot deeper. With this dugout though, we've got a bit of a problem that it isn't waterlogged. That's why I'm running circles with kelp to hopefully easily waterlog all of it. With that done, let's just plop in some mud instead, and why not a bit of underwater foliage. While we are at it, let's just complete the far side of the lake by coming in with the exact same mix of foliage minus the small drip leaf that I did over on the river, just to finish blending the lake into the environment and really add some life to it. Which is looking really good here on the far side. I want to just extend up the foliage a little bit more, maybe some custom trees. And actually, speaking about custom trees, let's get a custom birch tree built up. I had originally planned to build a small one from my library of trees, but of course we need a new design, because with every episode of this series, I build a brand new custom tree to add to my library. If you want to join me on this journey of becoming a better builder, or just enjoying the videos, consider subscribing and leaving a like. And I've got to say, building this much bigger birch tree was definitely the way to go, because I think it looks super good between the train station and the storage warehouse. And I actually want to work on a building in this area now for an actual farm in this episode, because if we head on in here, we have a lot of different outputs: bone meal, azalea, and moss mainly, and then we of course grass and fern. We won't be working on these two today, and probably not too much of the bone meal either, but I do want to get our moss farm built up. And well, moss farms are pretty complicated and also pretty big, so I think I want to build up a house here on the surface and then put a moss farm underneath it. And probably also build a bone meal farm there eventually, but moss farm for today. I just want moss. I'm tired of getting moss from caves. Cleared up a bunch of shulker boxes now, left a few still in the warehouse, but let's head back to spawn so that we can well, get a few more materials together to build up this final house. I actually shouldn't need too many blocks for the building itself, but still definitely a few. And one thing I'm noticing that we're gonna have to gather right away is definitely mangrove. So let's get right on that. And ooh, Beardy has been quite busy. This is looking great. And that is sick. What? I love this. Now this is how you make a tunnel in style. Right, but distractions aside, let's head over the mountain to my tree cutting place. Let's just get a few propagules made up here, and then we can cut down a bunch of mangrove trees. This should definitely be enough for us today, so let's put that in there and head on back. Let's get this crafted on down. Right, just working on more of the material gathering here. We're gonna need some more terracotta with a couple of dyes. Actually, don't even need the green dye. I need lime dye. Let's see. One of those, two of those, and the rest of that. Actually, requested the green dye again as well. Oh, I need more sand and gravel, of course. And so this, we can craft up a bit more green here and a bit of brown. Just gotta wash up these two into actual concrete. And we can use the little iron farm for this, which is what I've been doing this entire season so far. That's fine. Got pretty much all of the blocks together now for the actual build, except a few small things. And one of these is actually mushroom stems, and I have 13. But I think I need a few more, so I'm gonna actually grab a couple of these. And if we hop down to the basement of the workshop, and we take away that filter, we put this in here, we've got a little custom recipe that makes mushroom stems for us, which, oh, that's amazing. Building blocks are, of course, great, but we do still have pretty much an entire shulker, if not more, of farm building stuff, and it's not even create farm, it's vanilla farm stuff. Ugh. So let's get to crafting all of that. Pretty much got everything with this. I wonder just how much slime I had. Yeah, that's not enough, not even close. How can I fix... Wait, I think Eggs has a slime farm. I have no idea if he's selling it. Please, Eggs. I do not want to make slime by hand. Not selling it. Okay. I'm still gonna go check his cave. Now we can fly over the mountain as there's some more resources that I gotta grab over here, as I need some packed ice. And I'm not sure... Oh, there's icebergs. Then that's packed ice. I don't even have to transform it into packed ice. So let's just grab a stack of this. Into his little hole, and then jumping down here to his much bigger one. And where I think there's... Oh, I should not look at that too close. That's the game. But I think this is a vanilla slime farm with 50 slime in it. Right. Well, let's solve this another way then. So we gotta head first into the nether, as I gotta grab some lava. But before we do that, gotta fly off in this direction over to the coral reef as well. I need to get some more pickles so that we can get more lime dye. And of course, I'm not gonna grab them all over the place because that would be very, very annoying. Instead, we're gonna grab a bunch of coral. And actually, there's a lava lake right over here, which would save us time going into the bottom of the nether to grab some. So we can just yoink it from here. Here we go. This should be everything we need. So let's head it up here into Beardy's base, as I'm still using his crushing wheels. Throw this in here now, and we'll wait for all of this to get processed up. And that's a lot of green dye. Perfect. And now we can craft up all the slime we need. Finally be done for material gathering for the final time today. Right back in the village, and we can actually get our boxes placed down and get to building. These will wait a little bit because that's in the basement, and I want to get the building in first. So we'll get started with a first little step up here. And I'm thinking this is going to be the entrance to both the basement, first floor, and second floor. I'm thinking we'll have one door here, which will lead to the actual moss farm itself. That's going to be underground. Then if we step these steps, this is where I want that second entrance into the first floor. Then just extending up this stairs here so that we can get up to the second floor, not the third one. And the reason I grabbed a lot of these vegetation blocks here is because I want to bring in a little flower bed next to this. Let's see. Let's actually move that one out from the staircase there. Then we'll go over in this direction and just a few blocks back. Now the wall is going to go right here. So we will extend in a little bit of moss right on this side and here just to cover the edge of this wall, which we can actually start to build up just to make this a little easier for ourselves, where I just want to use a bit of mangrove for the actual foundation or first floor. What we'll do, we'll get in some dark oak saplings, maybe one of those, and maybe just some bushes. This is going to be a bigger building in this village, and I figured these are the people who own a lot of the factories around here, so they have a big house and a fancy garden. Right, let's continue this around. Where this is looking like a pretty good footprint. I have no idea what I'm actually going to put on the inside of this. I'm probably just going to leave it empty for today. Maybe we'll put a simple little farm in here, like maybe some 2 tall flower farms. That would actually be pretty good. And I think the space is going to be enough for that. But I definitely like the start of this, so let's continue the first 4 walls up, switching to some stripped mangrove logs and netherrack to add in some darker bits. Then moving on to the second floor, the first palette I want to bring in is a green tone with moss, green concrete, and lime terracotta, using some brown bits for the supporting structure. But I want to also bring in another palette using some logs as support and mushroom stems textured with light grey wool and concrete plus some terracotta. The windows for this bit I stuck with the scaffolding but regular copper on the inside. To finish off the structure, I'm building up the roof with a variation of stone bits, adding in some roof windows on the backside and also some spiky bits lining the top ridge of the roof. Finally, let's get a chimney built on the far side, going from black stone bricks all the way to stone bricks, finishing it off with some deep slate girders and flower pots. Where this house definitely takes a little getting used to with all of the different colors and everything happening, but I actually really like how it's come together. But it is missing something right on this corner here, and I want to bring out a metal girder, mechanical plow, and a lever, placing this on this block right here, and then getting our 2 hanging signs right underneath this, one spilling the moss and the other one estate. We'll get our lever just to support that a little bit, and then 2 girders going out, bringing out our wrench to get that connected. If we just hop around up to this plant, we can get a mechanical plow in there, and I realized you can place mossy carpets on metal girders, and I just think it looks so cool. Plus very fitting for the actual moss farm building. And I wonder, I probably have a couple of dyes. I don't have the correct things to actually make them shine, but we can do that in the future. As for now, I'm actually really liking where this building's at, so let's tie the 3 buildings we built today together by building up a connecting path between all 3, even adding in a little staircase on the backside of the moss estate. Which paths in a space like this really brings it together, and I think we've got a really good start of a village. I'm thinking actually bringing in another residential building here, probably smaller than this one, which is why I've left this side pretty bare, but I think that's gonna be a fun little addition with this little alley going in. And this project is slowly but surely coming together, and also very much rapidly expanding into a much bigger project than I had originally envisioned. But let's not focus on that right now, because, well, if we look in the basement of this, there's not a moss farm here. In fact, the moss farm is in these boxes still, and yeah, okay, I gotta build it. But before we can build it, we have to dig. No, not drill dig. Digging by hand, of course, clearing about a chunk big space down a couple of blocks underneath the moss house. And then it's time for me to do vanilla redstone. Yippee! I honestly find vanilla farms and redstone to be so confusing most of the time, but I'm building a moss farm called the Chromos using a schematic with a mod by Matica. This luckily makes it possible for me to build these farms. Moss farms is one of those items that I've never really attempted to do with the creative mod, because I think vanilla just does it really well, and this isn't too complicated, but also just it is a little complicated. These 2 right here are the outputs, and this is where we need to put some bone meal in to actually get this up and running. And we also need to, well, sort the output, because that's the output right now, and well, our storage warehouse is all the way up here and this way. So let's head on back to spawn. What on earth is this guy doing? What? I mean, I knew the lake was flooding, but... Oh, he's even gone and made himself a jetpack. Well, now he's the one looking down on us. And, ooh, train station. But those sections aside, let's just get a few create components crafted up here. I think this right here should be enough for us to hook it up to storage. And now we just need a bunch of bones. And, oh, there's 4 bones. Well, time to stand here for a bit then. 1,000 years later. Okay, well, we have 9 bones already, and I have a few more in my ender chest. We can get these crushed down, and oh, that is really looking good. We have to get a train up and running, but let's just crush that up, and we have 39 bone meal. Great. Right, let's see. We got 33 bone meal in there, and I think I have, well, okay, we have 300 in this one. I'm hoping that's enough, as all we need to do is, let's see, put 2 stacks in each of these, and I am assuming, oh, I can't even put 2 stacks in all of them. Sorry, let's steal 16 from each one. Then we can put a stack and 48 in all of them, and hopefully that's enough, and hopefully it works, in fact, because we'll find out now. Ooh. Ooh. I don't know. Okay, yep, that's definitely working. Okay, good. Let's turn that off again. That is so very loud. Then we can just hop up a vault down here, which lets this all drain into that. And well, we didn't actually lose any just yet. Well, okay, we have lost like 1, but we won't worry too much about that. And let's get this running over to the storage, which I actually need to remind myself how it's set up. Oh yes, with that going up there does mean we need to just reroute some things here, as I need a chute on the side of this, and then the moss, which is over here, so we'll do, I guess, right here. Oh, I just broke the bottom layer of this with a bit of water as I was trying to dig into the wall, and oh, I think I've got that sorted out again. So let's continue with the routing, and I think what I want to do here is just have this guy off 1 block here, and then run this into the wall. Oh, not again. Right, got that sorted out now, and ran the belt into the wall here and over to another vault, as we have to split the outputs, as I want most in 1 vault and, well, the rest in another vault. And thinking about that, we're definitely gonna want to add overflows to that. I think we can just mine this out though, and we should arrive at a chute, maybe, hopefully. Yes, there's a little encased fan here at the bottom to run that into, and then running this out. Oh, this one's a little off, but I actually think I'll just move this one over, because then I don't have to finick with the belts too much. And ooh, we're gonna need 1 more funnel, right? Oh, I don't think I have one. I don't think I have one. I have to fly all the way back. Okay, got everything here set up. Now we just need some power, and then to spin the fans and everything, of course. Well, we need the power to spin things. So let's just clear out a little bit of space over here. Bring this out into a large cogwheel, into a rotation speed controller. And then I think we just do a few large water wheels here, because BRD still hasn't hooked up any power to the city. This is not going to be a city. No. I'm not going to get that carried away. Like, I'm getting a little carried away, but not that carried away. There we go. That's spinning. And now to hook up the 2 fans. Wonder if I have enough for this. No, probably don't. Okay, well, we got the first one spinning. Now we just need to hit the second one up, and I need 2 more gearboxes and another encased chain drive. Okay, I think I have everything worked out now, so I want to try running the farm for a little bit, and hopefully it doesn't run out of bone meal, and oh, it is so loud. But hopefully it doesn't run out of bone meal, and hopefully we have some moss in the storage soon. Well, we'll have moss at least. Stood there for a few minutes now, just ate some lunch. Let's see how it's looking. Hopefully the doggo 28,000 already. I've spent so much time in caves gathering this. No. Right, well, on that bombshell, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.